All right, we're in Negaim Perik Yud Mishnah Aleph. First Mishnah in the 10th chapter of Masechet Negaim. We're going to talk about Netek. What is a Netek? Let's look at the Bar Tunurim. We'll be over for a second. Let's look at the Bar Tunurim. We're going to have to move it up anyway. A Netek is Negaim Sheberosh o Bezakan. They are Negaim that are in the hair, the head, or the beard area. Kriyim Nitakim. That's called a Netek. What is a Netek? Al Shem She'ase'ar Nitak V'nofel V'nosher. The hair in the beard area falls out. You have a bald spot in the beard or the hair area. Machmat Nega, because of the Nega. Interestingly, V'anitakim Ein Mitamin Ba'arba Marot. The Netek doesn't have to be one of the four whites. You know, the snow color or the plaster color or whatever. Kenega should be bekom habasar, like a nega in normal flesh. It doesn't be that white. It's any color. Let's look at the Torah for a second. So it's a bald area, but says the Torah. This is in Vayikra Yud Gimel. Isha kiebo nega beroshu bezakan, the head of the beard. He sees the nega. The color is different than the skin. But ubos se'ar tzahov dak, and it has this hair, golden hair, that's fine golden hair. We're going to talk about what this means. Then you're tameh. You got the golden hair, you're out. Okay? But if it doesn't have the golden hair, or it doesn't have black hair, then quarantine week 1. At the end of the quarantine, on the 7th day, it didn't spread, and it didn't have that yellow hair. Okay, then you have Hezger, you have the quarantine for the 2nd week. So we see, let's look at the Mishnah. The Mishnah is going to tell us the details of the Hezger, of Netakim. Hanetakim mitamim b'shnei shavuot. The Netek can be mitameh over 2 weeks, or b'shnei simanim, with 2 possible symbols, 2 possible signs, or 2 possible manifestations. B'se'ar tzahov dak, either with this fine yellow hair, golden hair as we've seen, u'b'pisyon, or spread. B'se'ar tzahov dak, what does it mean, se'ar tzahov dak, this fine? Dak means fine. So what is fine golden hair, yellow hair? Lakui katzar, divrei Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva says it has to be lakui katzar. Let's look at the Bar Tunurim. Masha amra Torah, both se'ar tzahov dak. What does it mean, that this fine hair? Mashma'uto lakui katzar. The implication of that is an affliction of katzar, of even short hairs. Remember we said the hair had to be like very long, it had to be a certain length? No, so Rabbi Akiva says it can be even fine hair, it has to be very, very short, it has to be? Yeah, it has to be small hairs. Zakati says, some say even shorter than the shiur of the white hair. It has to be, I guess, very thin, very tiny hairs. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri says, no, even afilu aroch. It can be even long, meaning se'artz of dak, the word dak, we're going to see in a second. Amar Rabbi Yosef Yochanan ben Nuri. Said Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, Maha lashon omrim. What does the language say? I.e., what do people say? What does it mean when people say dak? Dak makel zeh. Right? This stick is dak. Dak kaneh zeh. This stick is, this reed is dak. Dak literally means thin. Dak lakui kotzar, or dak lakui aroch. Yeah, it just means thin, but it could mean short, lakui katzar, or dak lakui aroch, or thin, but long. Let's look at the Bar Tunurim for a second. Milashon b'nei adam atalam, even from people. Shamim kaneh zeh dak, when you say this is kaneh, ma mashma'o. What does it mean? Bein lakui katzar, bein lakui aroch. Whether it's yes or not. So it's interesting that the language is a little weird, because what he's really trying to say is it doesn't matter. It means dak, whether it's katzar or aroch. So the Bar Tunurim says, Eitz farim de garsei, I love girsa, there are some versions that say, V'lo lakui aroch b'tmiya. And I looked it up in the National Israel website. So you look at the Parma, one of the Kitvei Yad, and you can look and you can see, and look at the version here. Am Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, ma lashon omeret, dak makel zeh, dak kaneh zeh, dak lakui katzar, velo dak lakui aroch, and you have the version of velo. That's one of them. But if you look at the first version in the Parma library, all this means is the versions in the Parma library. It doesn't mean anything more than that. I don't know where they'll tell you where they got them from. But here you have malashon omer dak kaneh zeh, dak lakui katzar, o dak lakui aroch. You have the o. So you can see literally like 2 manuscripts. One is o, one is lo. So when you look at your Mishnah and you say, what does the Mishnah say? You have to ask what the Mishnah really said, because there are different versions. There are different girsaot, as we have been learning. Anyway, the Mishnah says, Rabbi Akiva said back. Don't until we learn from the reed. Look from here. Daksa arosha plani. If you say a person say, don't tell me what do people say about reeds. If you say daksa arosha plani, you say his hair is very thin. Dakla kui katsar velo dakla kui arosh. The implication is it's thin and short, and it's not long and short. Interestingly, now if you say a person has thin hair today means very thin. It means not thick hair, not luscious hair. So very interesting. Nonetheless, the Bartunura says halacha ki Rabbi Akiva. We pass it like Rabbi Akiva. All right, we'll stop here and dedicate a learning to memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day.